wishing anyone who's even seen a second of my content this year, past years, enjoyed or despised it, a safe and pleasant holiday season. Merry Christmas Eve, stay toasty as the weather's getting brick out there, enjoy some nice movies and games you may not have played yet, and most of all, spend some quality time with any loved ones, family or friend. Christmas is tomorrow. We always have at least some kind of wish list or hopes for what we'll find under our tree, and originally this video was going to be solely just that, a wish list of what I hope to expect and get regarding Nintendo in 2022. But I feel like I could dig a little deeper than just the standard wish list. I could add a whole extra discussion on top, describing Nintendo's 2022 as we know of at this moment in time, and add some more personal wishes going into next year, not directly pertaining to Nintendo or video games, while also providing my own wish list of what I want out of Nintendo and the Switch going into next year. There is one video that was on my channel and I talked about Nintendo's potential 2022. I kind of want to remake and or expand on that discussion here alongside doing a wish list. I feel like that will add more to both topics, both discussions, and provide more layers, context, and hopefully entertainment than just doing one of them singularly. Let's do it. Let's just jump into it. The obvious fact we're all aware of is Nintendo's 2022 is already very stacked. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Legends Arceus next month, Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Bayonetta 3, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Splatoon 3. Absolutely nothing but either big-name franchises, huge first parties, or beloved series that have been long anticipated and are finally given their big chance for the biggest success they'll ever see at this moment in time. You got a Zelda that's the sequel to the biggest Zelda game of all time. Another Mario + Rabbids after Kingdom Battle became one of the biggest third-party games on the Switch. A new Pokemon game as soon as the year starts that's taking a more ambitious leap for the series. The newest Kirby game also being the biggest ambitious leap that the series has ever seen in a hot minute. Another Splatoon game, and that's been one of Nintendo's biggest, most lucrative IPs since its birth last generation, boasting as big of numbers as new Mario and Zelda games. Bayonetta 3 being a highly anticipated game for quite some time for a series with a dedicated following that's definitely going to get much bigger between Smash and this newest entry being on the Switch. Now, the Advance Wars games being pushed to next year, giving us more to look forward to, and Triangle Strategy likely being another really good Square RPG. Even on just the Nintendo front, the best way I could describe 2022 so far is this sentence I've iterated multiple times up until this point. Holy shit, there's a lot of shit coming out next year. And obviously that expands when you add non-Nintendo games, Sonic Frontiers, the next big Sonic game is going to be open world, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, after 20 plus years, is apparently getting a direct sequel by THQ Nordic, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, King of Fighters 15. Yeah, there's a lot of games coming out next year, and the weird thing is, that might not even be all of them. Going back to just Nintendo stuff, there have been many rumors and information circulating, like a new DK game, Monolith Soft developing something for a while, potentially being a new Xenoblade. Rumors of either the Metroid Prime trilogy or just Metroid Prime 1 re-releasing. Some speculation regarding next level games since Nintendo bought them a while back. There's still plenty of games and inside stuff we don't know that could very well be announced next year, if not the next, and that's exciting. But the first wish I'll make regarding Nintendo's 2022, and that we know of, is not only do I wish for all these games to be good, I think it's safe to assume at least most of them will be good. I also wish they do not get delayed. The only games I think I can imagine getting pushed back are between Breath of the Wild 2 and Bayonetta 3, but with how much we're given and what they've shown off of both those games, I've plenty of doubts to believe they'll be pushed back at all. But the possibility's always there, plans can always go south, so I'll at least hope and pray things go smoothly for these games we know of, and any unknown games and announcements we don't know about, hopefully they go smooth too. And with all the games I mentioned, including the new SpongeBob game and Sonic Frontiers, I'll also add this more personal wish to the list and say as a reminder, mainly for myself, I wish I actually play more games next year. I wish I actually play more games. I wish I'm an actual gamer. Whenever I do my backlog video and my update video, I'll elaborate further, but the more time passes and the busier I get, the trickier and harder I find myself to try and make time to play other games when I try and reserve some of them for the channel, or when I'm prioritizing getting better at Smash Ultimate competitively. And compared to 2020, I definitely played less games this year compared to that year, so I'd love to change that, hopefully once I'm more consistent with YouTube uploads soon. Not even just the new games coming out next year, also games that have been out that I want to play more and sink time into and make content around. It sounds counterintuitive, wishing for a lot of these games to come out, but also wishing you have more time and opportunities to play them and older games. The more time to play more games you get, the less time you'll get to play other games, and you're just adding more and more to that backlog, more time you have to put aside. It's a whole thing I'll get into another time, but trust me, I do want both. Help me! And to sort of expand on what we know now, I predict and also wish Nintendo's 2022 will be like their 2017. Almost like a sequel. Nintendo and Nintendo Switch in 2017, that was such a baller year for Nintendo if you were a Nintendo fan. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, ARMS, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was new for more people who bought that than those who got it on Wii U, the massive amount of third parties, like the sheer volume and quality of a lot of games that came out in 2017 was insane, and 2022 already, before we're even into the new year, it already looks like it's capturing a similar volume and likely quality of games. Another new big Zelda, a big new Kirby, a big new Pokemon, a new Mario plus Rabbids, a new Splatoon, a new Bayonetta. I mean, half the franchises I just listed had preceding games that came out in 2017. And then you factor other potential games they have lying in store just waiting to be announced to the public. Other 2022 titles we might not even know about, and Nintendo's in such a safe and secure spot right now to where anything else they announce might as well feel like extra, you know? I do expect to get a handful of new titles releasing next year that we've yet to hear of, but I do wish we get at least one major surprise out of them. This is something that's more subjective and can vary more from person to person, but to me, whether it's a dormant franchise getting another chance of life, an established IP getting a big spanking new game, and what that new game offers is what's surprising and more exciting, or some new game or thing that no one expects and is still cool and awesome, I'd like that. For me, last year, I guess that was Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, because I didn't expect that at that time. That would also make 2022 stand out more in any of these aspects, and would make it just a better year for both Nintendo and Nintendo fans. And looking a little farther ahead, I also wish Nintendo has at least some announcements next year of new games for 2023. Gonna sound a little spoiled, but with how many games they got ready for 2022, maintaining that momentum into the next year would still be awesome and great for both parties. Like, you know how we sometimes get off years or gap year or lighter years after big ones? I guess you could kind of say gap years. After 2017, 2018 was mainly just Smash Brothers for most people. But beyond that, some Mario spin-offs, a Kirby game, a Pokemon Yellow remake, and that's about it. But then 2019 was like a new Pokemon generation, a Zelda remake, a new Fire Emblem, a new Yoshi, a new Luigi's Mansion, Astral Chain, Ring Fit Adventure, Mario Maker 2, and then 2020... obviously, it was the pandemic, beyond Animal Crossing. Like, for every year we get a ton of big and great games, the next year we tend to get either a smaller volume of those big games, or smaller franchises / sub-series that aren't going to make as big of a buzz. That's not to say 2018 or 2020 and such were horrible years for Nintendo, far from it. We still got good titles out of them in those years, like Xenoblade DE, again Animal Crossing, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and such, and Nintendo has done largely pretty dang good on the front of making these cool and awesome games since the Switch launched. But those years like 2018 or 2020, they stand out less compared to 2017 or 2019, you know? Again, it's that sheer volume of games and the quality amongst that sheer volume. Like, most people remember Nintendo's 2018 as the year Smash came out, and not much of the other titles that came out in that year. And that's another reason I'm all for Nintendo pushing this momentum from 2022 into 2023. Because I even feel like 2021 had a lot of good games and releases for a lot of people. Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, WarioWare Get It Together, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury especially, new Pokemon Snap, Mario Golf, No More Heroes 3, Monster Hunter Rise. Like, 2021, in my opinion, is probably on par or around the same level as 2019 to me, which was also a pretty good year. And with 2022 looking so good already, imagine a 3 for year. Back to back to back years of just non-stop great games and wonderful experiences, and the Switch maintains that strong and incredible momentum it's been able to keep up with since 2017. Like, that is a net positive all around, essentially. And before we get to more hopeful wishes pertaining to more of the unknown, one last wish regarding something known. I really wish for Sonic Frontiers to be good, bro. I really want that game to slap. I need me a good 3D Sonic game since Generations, and between the rising success of the live-action movie, with the sequel, the soon Sonic Prime assuming the best, Sonic's brand just getting more and more popular and mainstream with these. I really want Frontiers to be a good Sonic game, man. I think we've went over most of what I wanted to talk about and hope for regarding Nintendo generally for next year. Now we can get a little more whimsical and hopeful here, a little more passionate. I'm gonna keep wishing for this until it happens. I wish we get some news or a confirmation of Super Mario Odyssey 2. Between asking for this since 2019, before COVID did what it did, and the video I did, and what I want for Odyssey 2, I'm still in full belief. Odyssey 2 is just a matter of time. The new ideas for the worlds, new costumes, captures, story ideas, them pulling a Mario Galaxy 2, or Breath of the Wild 2, or Majora's Mask with Odyssey, why they would even want to make another Odyssey game, I don't think there's much going against the idea of an Odyssey 2 happening. Not only that, we've yet to get news of a Nintendo-specific Mario game for 2022. Mario plus Rabbids is coming, but that's a series all developed by Ubisoft. Mario plus Rabbids is all Ubisoft. That's not Nintendo making those games. And there aren't a whole lot of options left as far as consistent and recurring Mario series that we've gotten the past decade, like Mario Kart, Party, Tennis, Golf, Paper Mario, 2D Mario, 3D Mario, etc. We already got a lot of those on the Switch. And when I ask for some news regarding that, you don't even have to release an Odyssey 2 next year. Breath of the Wild 2 is like the most anticipated game of that year, and there's a good volume of other major first parties. You're already set for 2022 as far as releases. Give 2022 to Zelda. You can easily give 2023 to Mario Odyssey 2, but I would greatly appreciate knowing the game exists at all, because the more time passes, the more I'm convinced we're due for some new 3D Mario game and an Odyssey sequel. It makes way too much sense at this point to just drop altogether. One thing I do wish is true, and I kind of expect, is that DK rumor and it being a 3D DK game. Donkey Kong's been deserving of a new game, but with how many other series are making the jump to 3D, like Kirby, or expanding on their 3D formulas like Zelda, Mario, and even Pokemon, Donkey Kong doing the same also makes a lot of sense. Getting a new DK game at all would be cool, but it being a 3D Donkey Kong game, and especially a good one, would give that series a better chance of being bigger and more popular than it has been since Country Returns. That's another game you could announce in 2022 and save for 2023. And one thing I'll add is if DK gets a new game of any kind, I fully expect the return of King K. Rool and the Kremlings. After Smash and K. Rool's massive popularity spike to get him in that game, why wouldn't you want to bring him back? Throwing a bone to Metroid fans? I do hope we get some kind of trailer or information regarding Metroid Prime 4. We're approaching the 3-year mark since the game restarted development. I'd have to imagine there's enough progress come the middle of next year to give some kind of information or update, and I think they're getting closer to being due to doing so. I feel like the earliest we'd get Prime 4, the finished game, like the full product, the full game, probably late 2023, but a trailer or tease to what they have so far, I'd assume could be very possible still for next year. And I also wish we get the Metroid Prime trilogy confirmed next year, not just Prime 1, but the whole trilogy. For as much as Nintendo just releasing Prime 1 makes sense in that being the most Nintendo thing for them to do, with how much hype and buzz Metroid's been getting lately, especially with Dread, I don't think Nintendo would want to squander some of that by releasing just Prime 1 and not Prime 2 and 3. Another wish and expectation, we see Monolith Soft's new game, and I fully expect it to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3. When that'll release, whether 2022 or 2023, could be either or. I'm willing to bet 2023 more, but Monolith making a new game and ready to announce soon seems feasible to me, especially with how long Xenoblade 2 was ago, and DE was a remake using a pre-existing engine mostly. I could see them announcing a new game and pushing it for next year, assuming it's a massive project. One wish and expectation, subscription service related. I wish the expansion pack for Nintendo Switch Online gets good. We all know how controversial Nintendo's expansion pack got, how expensive a lot of people felt it was for what little you got in return, on top of some shoddy emulation quality. I want all of that to be ironed out as the year goes on, man. Do I doubt it will? Yes. It's Nintendo and their online subscription service that hasn't exactly been the most consistent or reassuring thing Nintendo's been able to maintain as far as quality with time since the Virtual Console. One new N64 game a month with maybe 5-ish Genesis games every couple months, that's not doing it for a lot of people at the moment. Increasing that volume, making the release schedule more consistent would help a lot more. But again, I've little reason to be faithful or expect NSO's expansion to get genuinely better. Game Boy games, that might help a tiny bit, I guess. Not in the grand scheme if you're asking me, That's still not fixing all the problems I listed off here and in that Switch Online video I made a few months ago. It can't be a wish list, I guess, without some kind of pie-in-the-sky wishes. And, okay, before I keep going with this, listing off more wishes, I do admit, I feel like I'm getting kind of crazy with some of these. Like, I feel like I'm listing off a ton of wishes. The expectations are one thing, and a lot of those I think are more realistic and down to earth, but I'm not even done, which is why I'm saying now, yes, I'm sounding like a 7-year-old sitting on Santa's lap listing off this whole list for like 2 hours, so I guess I could argue that's the point. This is a wish list. We gotta dream big. Wish big to get that holiday spirit, and expectations be damned. Go big or go home, I guess. I don't know. So winding down, not that many wishes and expectations left. Screw it. Can we get something regarding Mario & Luigi, please? Even just confirmation that interest in maintaining that series is still there, that would actually be enough. Dismissing Alpha Dream's bankruptcy for a second. It's been almost 7 years since the last new Mario & Luigi, barring the remakes, and now adding Alpha Dream's bankruptcy, Nintendo having full rights to everything in that series now, they have to know how beloved and successful Mario & Luigi's been. We quite literally have almost nothing at this point for Mario RPGs. Paper Mario's not an RPG anymore. Mario plus Rabbids barely. It has a handful of RPG elements at this point, but Mario & Luigi hasn't really done much of anything since Paper Jam, even with the remakes since they released on a waning system at that time. I don't expect it, but at least seeing that series make some kind of comeback, some kind of quality assurance being announced that, like, yeah, we're still interested, don't worry, that would still be very good to me and the millions of Mario & Luigi fans out there. Another hope, something slightly more expectable, I wish for Mario Party Superstars to get DLC. Bring back like one map from each of the GameCube Mario parties over the course of a year, every 2 to 3 months, a handful more of those classic minigames remade that aren't in the game right now, especially the GameCube and Wii Mario parties. You could use more minigames from those, modify the DS minigames maybe, add Pauline and Diddy Kong as DLC, if possible Toad, Toadette, or Bowser Jr., Nabbit and Dry Bones as potential characters. That is such an easy idea and plan for Mario Party Superstars to maintain interest in sales, and a ton of people love Superstars. A lot more than Super Mario Party. Like, they really should capitalize on that game's momentum while it's still going strong right now. Another wish and expectation for next year? Hopefully we'll see what Next Level Games is working on. Nintendo bought them out like a year-ish ago. Luigi's Mansion 3 finished at least 2 years ago. We could be seeing their next big project next year, whether it's a new Punch-Out, a new Mario Strikers, or something completely different. If I had to guess for more of that IP variety, and because it has been a hot minute, I expect a new Punch-Out, but I'd kill for a new Mario Strikers because it has also been a hot minute since that series got a new game as well. I think almost the same amount of time across both. And as far as IPs, I don't expect any of these to make some kind of comeback soon, but I do wish at least one dormant/dead IP gets a new game announced or some kind of second chance at life next year. Star Fox, F-Zero, Kid Icarus. I'm at least a little more hopeful given how massive of a turnaround Metroid made compared to the early to mid 2010s. So anything's possible for any of these series, and ones I didn't mention, but yeah, there are more wishes than any concrete predictions or expectations. It would be cool though. I do wish we get ARMS 2. I like ARMS, and I want more of these characters in a sequel with more of the gameplay expanded on. But I also wish we got Mario Kart 9 too, so both those wishes conflict with one another since their development teams are the same. Could get both, I don't know. I would like a Mario Kart game that's not Tour, that's brand new, it's been 7 years, but I do want more ARMS. I do wish Sonic Prime's a good show. We know nothing about that show coming next year, so praying Sonic Prime's a good show. I also wish for the Mario movie to be a good movie, and a good Mario movie. I'm not going to go too deep into that one. I'm saving a whole discussion for that movie and the information we have now. But to keep it short, that Mario movie got me thinking a lot. Especially with the casting and how they approached announcing it. But all I wish for that movie is for it to be good. Entertaining, of course, but also good. And finally, more personal. Not only do I wish to maintain my consistency with my workouts, but I also wish I become more consistent being a YouTuber. This past year's been crazy, period. Plenty has happened. I've made many lifestyle adjustments and changes to where my life's considerably different now to how it was a year or two ago in multiple ways. But now entering the last bit of 2021, I'm starting to adapt better to my own lifestyle changes better, and I've paved a road for myself and my YouTube career to where I think now's the perfect time for me to fully commit to it and create more and more content for you guys to enjoy and experience. Not just playing more games, but also more discussions, maybe even animations and drawing videos if I'm really feeling frisky. Reactions, podcasts, let's plays, movie reviews. I'm always thinking of ideas and ways for me to approach doing more YouTube content and what kinds of content I can do. I'm not going to try and boast or claim anything before it happens. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. But I have made some ends meet and plan to succeed for me to try and finally commit to content creation full-time basically. And I expect and especially hope that commitment both takes place and succeeds with how I want it to. Hope for SuperMarioT to expand, grow, and become bigger and more entertaining for anyone who is and will subscribe in the future. Thank you for watching this discussion and wishlist. Tell me what you hope for regarding next year. It could be a wish list or expectations regarding Nintendo in 2022. It could even be wins and hopes you yourself hope to achieve next year. Hope this video provided some sort of entertainment and even a tiny tinge of that Christmas spirit. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday season, and New Year. I plan on streaming Smash later tonight, so come through if you'd like to either play Smash or pay some Christmas tidings and say hi. But I wish you all nothing but the best. Don't just stay super, have a super Merry Christmas.
Yo, hey, 妹妹，嘿，我来呀！共和大哈哈呀！拉面，嘿，来面，排根面，共和再见呀！哈哈，拉面，翘手面，谢谢。